This comic is rated R for nudity and violence, just like I like it.
Coming to paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, Illuminati. The man who rules the world takes on the head of the global elite in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Pre-order your copy of John Haynes Illuminati on Amazon.com and online booksellers everywhere.
As I've been getting the SJS Direct 2024 catalog together, a lot of the comics that I put in pledges for on Kickstarter have been coming in. And over the last month, I spent over $100 on Kickstarters for different independent comics. So there will be a lot more independent comics for me to review over the course of this year. And one of the comics I definitely had to put a pledge in for was Corey Hardiman's Hope and Sin, which is set in the Sister Mercy universe. Now, Hope and Sin are basically two stories about two characters in the Sister Mercy universe, Cardinal Sin and Sister Hope, and their stories basically are building a larger world in the Sister Mercy universe, and these stories give us a bigger and richer picture of how dark that world is. Now, the first issue of Hope and Sin was absolutely fantastic and one of the best comics of 2023, and Hope and Sin number 2 continues to show great promise as related to Corey Hardiman's writing skills in building that much larger world in the Sister Mercy universe, giving us a solid second issue, building on the momentum of the previous issue and the other parts of the first arc of the Sister Mercy storyline. Now, this second issue takes us into the debauchery verses and shows us how debaucherous Cardinal Sin really is. And Cardinal Sin is a truly dark character who is in contrast to Sister Hope, who basically thinks of this as just another convent, not knowing that this is basically the Church of the Antichrist. And in that Church of the Antichrist, it's basically run by the incel known as the Black Pope, who has what I believe to have the ashiest dick and the driest balls of all the characters in the Sister Mercy universe. Because as he's going out here raining hell and bringing hell down on this world, he's not getting any action, and that's really sad because he's surrounded by all of these hot nuns, and he ain't getting nothing but screwed over. That's what we're seeing in this first story, which revolves around Sister Hope and her being introduced to the Black Pope first as related to his plans in the Antichrist order. And with him and his plans, he's so caught up in his plans, he can't see what's really going on. Now, we have a White Knight, which I'm seeing as more of a metaphor for a mangina in many of these comic panels, and he's an ancillary character in the story, but I'm starting to see how he's basically sort of like a mangina in a White Knight, that he's here to defend the women, but winds up like the incel Black Pope, basically with another ashy dick and extra dry balls, because while they're sitting there guarding these nuns, they ain't getting none, but we have all of the women here getting it on in all sorts of ways. Now, I can't really show too much of either of these stories because this comic is rated R for nudity and violence, just like I like it, so I can't really show too much of these comics, nor do I want to show much of these comics because Corey and his team basically work very hard on this comic, and I don't want to undermine all of the work they put in on this comic, and I don't want to spoil this comic because the next issue really, I believe, is going to build further on different storylines, and we're going to learn more about these characters. But with Hope and Sin number 2, I'm really glad how well done this book is, because we really see some great character development with Sister Hope as related to her as to being a possible hope in the future, and we learn more about Cardinal Sin and how sinful and depraved she is. And this is in contrast to what I read in Scarlet Steel, where they basically went out here and just did not develop her character at all. She was introduced in the comic, but we learned nothing about her or what motivated her to be a hero. But we learn about what motivates Cardinal Sim to be a villain, and we learn about how just twisted and evil Cardinal Sin is in this comic. And we learn how just twisted she is as she has confrontations with the women in this comic, such as the woman who is the witch, who is the one who is looking to go out and have an interaction with Sister Hope. And we also learn more about her and the twisted relationship she has with a straight married couple. And we also learn more about the confrontation she has with Sister Mercy and her mother. And we also find out about that little sketch about what happened after the goblin stole Sister Mercy's panties. So a lot goes on here in this comic that builds further up the world of the Sister Mercy universe in Hope and Sim. And you have to really read this comic more than once to catch all the little details. That's what I really liked about this comic. Again, exceptionally well done. And Corey continues to show that his skills continue to get better with each passing comic he writes. And every passing comic in the Sister Mercy universe, it makes that world just that much more exciting. So this book is not a disappointment. It's a rock-solid continuation of expanding the world of Sister Mercy as related to the first story arc, and gets you just that much more excited as related to what's going to be coming in Sister Mercy number 9, a book that I'm definitely looking forward to, and a book that I'm looking forward to putting in a pledge for when Corey releases it sometime in the future. I'm just really looking forward to more of the Sister Mercy universe. This is a great independent character. This is how a good bad girl comic is done. I mean, I've read a lot of bad girl comics, sadly, like Scarlet Steel, where they give us the girl, but they don't give us any of the substance. But Corey gives us a lot of substance with all of his good and bad girls in the bad girl world of Sister Mercy. And this book just has me excited to pick up more Sister Mercy adventures and learn more about this clearly dark world and this possible dark apocalyptic future. I'm not going to give away too much because there was a great plot twist in Sister Mercy number 8 that leads into Sister Mercy number 9. And I want you to go out here and get these comics because these are some of the best comics currently on the market, and I don't want you to miss them. Now, my first 2 comics are out on the market right now, and you can pick up my first full comic, John Haynes at Death's Door, on Lulu.com, and you can find that book on Lulu for the same prices as it was on the 2022 Kickstarter. Now, right now, I'm trying to work it out so I can get this book on Amazon, and hopefully you'll be able to pick up John Haynes at Death's Door, the comic, on Amazon soon. So I've already got the Kindle version laid out, and I'm trying to find a way to get the paperback version laid out on Photoshop so that I can get this book to meet Amazon standards. And I also have another comic I did with Bill Walko, Esteem No Good Deed, and that comic is available on Kindle right now for 99 cents, and you can get that first Esteem comic on Kindle for 99 cents, and you can also get Esteem No Good Deed in the back of the Esteem series book, Esteem Blast from the Past. Now, I really enjoy making independent comics, and I really want to make a new independent comic featuring Isis the Goddess Next Door to feature all of the SJS Direct characters in comics, and I can only do that with your help. Now, I've raised some money to get this project started, but I need to have all the money together to finish it in order to pay the artists and make sure that they're taken care of, because I don't do schemes like profit-sharing schemes because that's not right to the artist. No, I want to make sure that the artist is paid and ready and has their money and is paid in full or paid over whatever type of plan that they want to pay. But I want to make sure that they get their money for their labor, and I can only do that with your help. So if you guys could go and drop a donation to the PayPal or the Cash App, That'll help me to raise the funds to make the next SJS Direct comic, and it'll also help me to have the funds to be able to pay for more great independent comics like Corey Hardiman's Hope and Sim, and help out many of the great independent artists who are putting together great comics all over social media and trying to get great fun independent concepts to the comic marketplace. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Coming to paperback and e-readers, Isis Dark Incubus. The goddess next door gets enthralled in a romantic entanglement with an evil incubus in this all-new Isis series adventure. Pre-order your copy of Isis Dark Incubus at Amazon.com and other online booksellers everywhere. Now available on Lulu. John Haynes at Death's Door. The man who rules the world takes on the Greek god of death in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes comic book. Get your copy of the first John Haynes comic at Lulu.com today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.